Hello everybody, my name is Jen and you're very welcome back to Law Hero. I make videos about the law and all things associated with the law. And recently a trainee wrote to me in the DMs of my Instagram at Law Hero IRL, which you can follow just for like some daily inspiration. I talk about law and psychology and topical issues that face young lawyers based on my experience and what I read. And somebody wrote to me in the DMs asking me for some tips around to be confident because they thought I was really confident, and I actually had to laugh out loud because I would never consider myself a confident person. I look at other people and they inspire me. I feel a lot of times really socially awkward. I feel like sometimes I can be almost autistic when I speak to people, and this has been pointed out to me in that I would say very much what's on my mind very bluntly. Confidence in what I would describe it as, like Beyonce confidence, that's what I would consider confidence. I don't feel like I have that, but I also need to work on that because having confidence is the key to success. It really, really is. And it's something that you have to learn. Nobody has it innately, which is, you know, another good excuse to get it together. So I found probably the best article I found is from Dr. Art Markman, who wrote Smart Thinking and Habits of Leadership, and he is a PhD and a professor of psychology and marketing at the University of Austin, Texas. And what he describes confidence as is a belief that your knowledge is accurate, that your skills are up to the task, and you can grow into whatever particular challenge is in front of you. So the first part of that is belief. Now, I know, especially in the sports arena, that if you don't have belief, you're never going to succeed. So that basically has to be an inner fire that is able to withstand trials and tribulations. It's like a burning desire or knowledge or innate sense of just certainty that what you're going to achieve will be achieved. Beliefs come and go through life. For example, if somebody told you when you were 6 years old that you're not great at maths, you might just cling on to that like I did and go through your whole life saying, I'm not good at maths, and that's just your belief and it's steadfast. Or for example, you may believe that marriage is a bad idea or that vaccines are a bad idea. These are your beliefs. They're pretty fundamental and they're little shortcuts that you've created for yourself so that you can navigate your life more seamlessly. As we know, some beliefs can be quite positive, but other times they can be quite negative and can work against us. And so much so they can narrow our horizons. So confidence is a belief. That means we have control over it. The next bit is that your knowledge is accurate. Now, to have accurate knowledge, that's an objective benchmark. You either have knowledge of an area or you don't. You either know about triathlon or law like I do, or you don't. Like I, for example, don't know about chess. That's not a belief, that's a fact. So I know my knowledge is not accurate. It's that your skills are up to the task. So when I think of skills, for example, I think of Beyonce's skill to dance and sing simultaneously. She knows she's up to the task because she's done the practice, she's put in the work, and she's gone through that like icky bit at the start where you mess up. She's gone through that, she's come out the other side. And that you can grow into whatever particular challenge is in front of you. That means that the challenge isn't insurmountable based on the resources you have around you. Like for example, me as a lawyer, when I'm faced with a seemingly to somebody else a difficult 50-page document, I revel in that because I'm like, the longer the document the better, the more time I can spend on it, the more time I can master it. And it's because I've done it before, it's because I have the basic skills and I know, which is a belief, that I can do it. There's a lot of value in having an appropriate level of confidence in situations you face. Being underconfident may lead you to shy away from taking on challenges that fall well within your expertise. The problem is, even though it's within your expertise, you're still saying no. So that means for some reason you have a belief that you don't have the confidence, and you need to find out why you're saying no, why you're not confident enough to go for it. When you're chronically underconfident, your immediate reaction is to turn down opportunities. When you hear about or read about a new possibility, you often either avoid thinking about it because it makes you anxious, or you start to list all the reasons why you can't do it. And this is colloquially called overanalysis paralysis. Some people say that most people are afraid to fail, but I actually think it's the opposite. I think most people are afraid to succeed. It's like, what if I fall? But what if you fly? It's exactly that. And it's because your brain hasn't done the groundwork in imagining what it would be like to succeed. And I remember a kind of really poignant example of this was when I was doing volunteering in Wheatfield Prison, and the prison officers were telling me that they would spend like a lot of money on footballs every year, and I'd be like, why? Well, they're like, basically a lot of the time when some of the prisoners get frustrated, they kick the ball out over the wall, and obviously they can't get it back because there's like barbed wire and whatnot. And they said it's self-sabotage, and I was like, what? How is that self-sabotage? They're like, because they're depriving themselves and the other prisoners of the ball for the duration of the game. We're not going to have another ball at least till tomorrow. They're ruining it, something within control for everybody else. And I said, why? Because I didn't really understand self-sabotage at the time. And the prison officer explained to me that they would rather be in control and know the outcome, the certainty of the outcome, which is something bad, i.e. the ball being over the wall, than to try and play well in the football game and risk themselves for something better. And I thought to myself, whoa, I've done that a lot of times. Rather than try and be brave, I've taken the easy option and kicked the ball out over the wall because I knew for certain that ball wasn't coming back and there was no more opportunity. So a lot of the time, the reason people turn down opportunities is because they're too risk adverse. And this is actually a very common human trait. We're more afraid to lose than to gain something. And once you know that about human beings, you start to see everywhere why people act the way they do. So I guess the best advice is to ask yourself, is the reason I'm turning this down because I'm afraid to lose? Or is it because I'm afraid to succeed? What's the real reason? Only you know yourself, and the easiest person to lie to is yourself. The next one is, when opportunities come to you, do you consider specific alternatives? So a lot of the time we decline to take something on because we're focused on our own limitations, which are our beliefs and perceptions of our ability. Like the one I said, for example, I'm not great at maths. This is my perception of my ability and it's steadfast. You assume in an abstract way that someone else could take this task on and do it better. Instead, focus specifically on who that person might be. So ask yourself, who is this abstract person I'm comparing myself to? The task needs to get done and someone is going to end up doing it. If you don't do it, who will? Why not you? Will that person really be more qualified than you? Objectively, will they really be more qualified than you? Chances are, when you think about it carefully, you will realize they won't be. Many opportunities that are put in your path are there because they actually do match your skill set. When you say yes more often, you also provide yourself with more opportunities. People who are positive and say yes more, the reason why they get more lucky is because they say yes more and they get used to doing more. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, or it's a vicious circle, but actually not a vicious circle at all. It's a fantastic circle, because the more you say yes and the more you get opportunities, those snowball and lead to more opportunities. The more you say no, the more you close doors. And yes, you're focusing on things that you're more interested in, but sometimes you do have to risk yourself for something new to broaden your horizon. And then the final piece of advice the author gave is to use training wheels. So if there is a legitimate worry that you're not up to the task, why don't you start small and get a mentor, get a trusted colleague who will get you through there. So for example, when I am doing milk round mastery with my clients, a lot of the time I'm trying to get them to be more confident, and I'm telling them that they have the answers inside themselves. They have to stop believing that somebody else is better than them. it's a belief that's not serving them. This is the equivalent to riding a bicycle, getting a mentor, or, you know, asking people other questions. You'll also gain more confidence because you'll see yourself in a different light. You'll see yourself through the eyes of your mentor or whomever you're speaking to. And I have found this, for example, with coaching through triathlon. Having a second opinion a lot of the time can break you through that negative, I can't do it, I don't have the confidence to do it. Talking to somebody else is always a better option than just analysing everything by yourself with that subjective false beliefs a lot of the time about yourself that aren't really serving you. So yeah, I hope that helped, and have more confidence in yourself. It really is as simple as deciding it. And yeah, fake it till you make it, I think, is the advice. See you in the next one.